Welcome back to GameScoop, everybody. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. I'm joined now by Ryan McCaffrey, Dan Stapleton,
hello,
Justin Davis.
Scoop.
And we have gathered to discuss a very important issue here. One of our fans, Ray, has written in. Remember, viewers, if you have your own questions or topic suggestions, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com, just like Ray did. Ray says, as soon as the PS4 launch date was announced, I asked for 2 nights off from work, November 14th and 15th.
Wise man.
Yep. When my wife found out about this, she was pissed and asked, seriously? With an exclamation point and a question mark. He continues, whenever the Xbox 360 and PS3 were released, I was in high school, didn't have any money. So skipping school to get a next-gen console was out of the question. Now that I'm 25 years old and have a great job, I plan on enjoying the launch of a next-gen console and believe that I shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, my job has no problem with it, and they're going to pay me for those days off.
Yeah.
So, is this okay, or does my wife have reason to believe that this is silly?
So, speaking as someone who was married around that age and divorced around that age,
but married again.
Married again. Now, happily, much wiser this time around. What? She should, if he's a hardworking guy, she should accept that if this is the time off he wants to take because he works hard. Let him enjoy his PlayStation 4 at launch.
Right.
What's the beef? I don't understand.
She flip over
she
this
needs to be
Let's point out
more supportive.
We should point out that all these gentlemen are all married.
Yeah, what a coincidence that you picked the panel.
I'm the only swinging bachelor here today. These are all married men, so they have perspective on this.
So my question is like, did he not take time off when she wanted him to? Like, we got to go on a trip. Sorry, honey, I can't do that. I'm working.
Can't spare the vacation days to go see
In her
your
mind,
parents.
she must be thinking those days could be used for us to go on vacation, right? He has a limited allotment of vacation days, and he's spending 2 of them.
I don't know. He says he has a great job. Maybe his job, he doesn't have to work whenever he wants.
Well, there's that too.
So, Ray, first of all, obviously it's okay for you to take those days off. Your wife is dead wrong. Let's get that right out of the way to begin with. I was going to go into this game scoop with kind of a jokey answer, but I actually have something a little bit serious that I want to say about this, which is just, it's a commentary on the human condition. We're not meant to just work. Let me put it this way.
Office space right now.
If you work, 5 days, 50 weeks a year, you work and work and work, and you do that for 50 years, and that's your entire life is just spent working. What you're building up to are moments like this moment where you can carve out a little bit of time for yourself.
You're not wrong.
And take it back and be a man.
Justin, get back to work.
I know what this is. And I mean that in all seriousness. Like, you need moments like this. And, like, obviously, hopefully, Ray, you're taking vacation with your family. Go take your wife somewhere nice, do something lovely. But it's also important to have time to yourself.
Yes.
And be able to, you will end up having a falling down moment and be like Michael Douglas if you don't do things like this.
What do you mean breakfast is only served until 10:30?
So here's my question, though. Is launch day necessarily the best day to do this?
You mean when everything may crash and burn?
Right. It's like
yeah.
You are taking a very real chance that you will be sitting there twiddling your thumbs, yelling at your television, like, PlayStation, why don't you work?
He probably wants to line up at midnight, I'm guessing.
Right.
And so it's the whole launch experience for good or for ill.
There's no connect in there, so yelling at the PlayStation won't do any good.
It does do voice, though.
Okay.
Like there's like a launch day patch that's supposed to add in more voice commands, so you can yell at it.
It sounds like he works nights. He says I asked for 2 nights off work.
Right.
That's a great job where you work at night. Is he a pharmacist? I know a guy. If you're a gamer, if we talked about this recently, if you identify as a gamer, there are a few bigger deals to you than a next-gen console launch.
It's every 8 years.
And that's the other point I was going to make.
If we live 70, 80, 90 years, hopefully.
If you're lucky.
That only happens 10 times in your lifetime,
Well,
right?
that's assuming that there is another console launch after this one.
It doesn't happen very often. This is a really big deal to people like us.
Ray, if you show this to your wife, this is what I would say, Ray's wife.
Mrs. Ray.
Mrs. Ray, this is not going to happen again for another 7 or 8 years.
Let
that this will happen
enjoy
again.
the moment.
Yeah.
If he needs to take more time off to
But then again, if this were like some ladies, I don't know, The View or something, they would probably be having a very different conversation right now. When it comes to this
like on what was the one with the supermodel, one that has the talk show, that held the world. Yeah, that one, the Tyra Banks show. This would be a very different conversation right now.
So that I do want to point out that
How
you're not the
dare he take time off?
But it's paid vacation.
Yeah,
it's like it's not like
he's still putting. You're still bringing home the bacon, as it were.
That's a good. So he's taking Thursday and Friday off, and then also has Saturday, Sunday. That'll be a fun.
It's a strong call. It's a strong
call.
Right?
Yeah, strong.
The irony is that even though we fully support him taking the day off, none of us can take those days off. No, like
busiest time of the year for us.
We can't take those days off.
So what we really need actually is we need a sequel to this episode of Game Scoop where we get Mrs. Ray's side of the story.
Yeah,
for the true, to give a full perspective here.
I do want to say, I guess I can't speak for my wife. I feel like she would be okay with it. I feel like she would.
If you had a different job and you.
If I really wanted to take a personal day to do this, I feel like that would be fine.
Yeah.
My wife's good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my wife would be cool with it.
It's important. These things are important.
Well, the thing, hopefully I know this has become like relationship counseling episode of Game Scoop from like possibly, in my case, not necessarily the best giver of advice, but hopefully she knew what she was signing up for when she married. Obviously, he's been a gamer since at least high school.
Yeah,
because he mentioned 360 and PS3 launch. So, it's a give and take, and this is one of those situations where hopefully she's going to give.
And this is no different from like a sports fan who wants to take a day off to go to a big game.
Yeah.
It's just something you're excited about that you should take time off of work to do.
It's like a Super Bowl that only happens once every 8 years.
Yeah, right. So this is...
it's like every other Olympics. So every other Summer Olympics.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love my wife very much. Baby, I love you. But
Game Scoop fan.
My wife will never see this.
Yeah, nothing that comes after the butt here.
But the things I'm about to say. No, like we don't really argue, but we do have the things where it's like there's just gaming shit all over our house, and she doesn't like it. And I tell her two things. I'm like, this is not any different than it's been in the 10 years we've been together. Like I am the same. I was a big gamer then. I'm a big gamer now. I do it for a living. Like this is just like I'm sorry, and this isn't going to change in another 10 years. So. Deal.
Hashtag deal with it.
Hashtag deal with it. But, secondly, I'm not a big sports guy. And this is what I tell her. I'm like, I'm not watching football every Sunday, every Monday.
This is your NFL.
I'm not dragging her along to, like, playoff, I don't know, like San Jose Earthquakes games or Sharks. Like, I don't do any of that. Like, video games are my thing.
Earthquakes is soccer for all of you.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what's Earthquakes?
Sure.
Yeah, Ray, Game Scoop fully supports you taking a couple of days off for the PlayStation 4 launch. It's a really big deal. Go with God. And for lots more, stay tuned for more from IGN Game Scoop.